Welcome to the world of young Nana, where we embark on a thrilling adventure through the stone tower.
Hey there, Stealth Camping Alliance. Coming to you from a tower. A stone tower to be exact. Sunday, January 28th, and I want to thank McHappy Camper because he gave us until January 31st to get our submission videos in. But I'm here, I am in a tower, and I am going to camp in this tower tonight. And hopefully I don't get busted because there was another car in the parking lot when I got here. My husband's here with me and the dogs, but he's going to be departing soon. And this is a very popular place. So I figured crappy weather might keep people away, but I could be wrong. And I'm not too far from a neighborhood, so this is probably the stealthiest stealth camp I've ever done. And we'll just see what happens, man. I'm sleeping in a tent tonight. In a tower. That's pretty cool. I don't think I'm going to regret this when I'm laying in my bed as an old lady in a nursing home if I get that far. I think I'm going to look back at this with fondness. So I'm not going to give away my location because, hey, this isn't a designated camp spot, and I'm not that kind of stealth camper. But I am in the northwest corner of Connecticut, and I am at a place that had a stone tower erected as part of a college education program, but also was used during World War I as a military training post. So it's got some pretty cool history to it, and I'll go over some of that too while we're here. I'm about halfway up the tower, but the other half of the stairs of the tower are all outside, and it is sleeting and raining right now, and I'm not going to climb those stairs. The stairs are actually pretty wet, so and the walls are too, so I'm going to put my phone away while I'm climbing down the stairs because my right knee is unfortunately still the size of a small cantaloupe, so I got to take it easy. So I do want to show you something that I'm really excited about that I'm going to be using now because this trip has a tower in it. And you know, I've seen some other YouTubers and even some people on the Stealth Camping Alliance using drones, and I'm not a very techie person, but I thought if I was ever going to use a drone, it would be in this camp out. So I didn't have a whole lot of money, but I was able to find a very affordable drone. Let me show it to you. So this is my drone, and as you can see, I got it from Team. I will leave the notes in the description. It comes with a remote, and I'm really excited about that. And it's got, look at those propellers. It's got 4 of them, and it's got a camera. And like I said, I got it from Team U. I got it from Team U because I don't have a ton of money, but I say let's try it. We're gonna fly it right now. I'm gonna use this fancy remote control over here. All right, I think we got some drone footage on the Team U drone. I have to clean it up so you guys can see it. I mean, I feel like it didn't fly as far as I had hoped. on this maiden voyage, but I'm pleased. I'm pleased. I think you guys are going to see some shots of the tower that you're going to like. All right, my tent is all set up. Yeah, the temperatures are dropping. It is about 34 degrees. So, got my heavy duty gloves on that I use for snowmobiling. And dinner tonight is gonna be an MRE. I didn't wanna make a lot of noise cooking. I can't imagine anyone would be out on a night like tonight, but I mean, I'm out on a night like tonight. So I am gonna show you the MRE that I got, and then we're gonna cook it up for dinner. Okay, this is, I've already opened up on the side, but this is a legit MRE, and it's sausage and peppers. I'm gonna get that started. Put our dinner in here. Just stick it all in the paper sleeve. Thank you to all who served in the military, because I don't know how I could eat this. Not even sure it's warm, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try it. All right, here goes nothing. It's definitely got a kick to it and a bit of a Chef Boyardee vibe, so. And because it's all I have for dinner, I'm gonna eat it. And I'll get back with you after this. Probably not the greatest lighting, but there she is. This is a Korea Bryce, one person. You want to bring a very big shelter. I don't use this one very much because I'm not really a fan of the army crawl door, but this takes up a lot less room than any of my 2-people tents. So. Haven't used it in a while. Actually, the last person to use it was my grandson when we went camping this summer. So, but finished getting my bed ready and then set up stuff. Greetings from inside my tent. It is cold and it is windy and it is freezing rain. The funny thing about towers is they're not all that well insulated. And they're not waterproof. It's pretty early, it's only about 8 o'clock, but I need to warm my body up, and the only way I'm gonna do it is inside this tent, so I'm gonna get all set up. I'm a little nervous using the sleeping pad. This is my Nemo Tensor Alpine, and it has now been repaired twice because it keeps springing a leak. And I did my best to make sure that I wasn't set up on any broken glass, but there's broken glass in here, so I really hope that I'm going to be all right. I do have a closed cell phone pad underneath it and another closed cell phone pad next to it. Doing the best I can. I hope I don't wake up with a flat air mattress. Got my quilt and going to warm up. Like I said, maybe watch a bit of a movie. The wind is howling, and it's actually blowing the freezing rain into the tower, so I'm hearing freezing rain hitting my tent, which is interesting, but yeah, it's gonna be good. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It is about 7:30, and we're still here. I'm gonna pack things up, pack up my tent. I don't know why anybody would be out in this weather because it is super windy and it might still be snowing. I haven't left my tent yet. I don't think they got as much snow as they predicted, but we did get some. Here is a must on a day like today. It is still quite windy. Justin and I were here a couple weeks ago scouting this place out. And we were walking down a trail not too far from here, and a big old tree fell about 20 feet from where I was standing. I'll insert a little video of that. Looking for a geocache, and this tree just fell down. Thank God didn't fall near us. So I'll tell you what, I'm glad that I was in the tower last night. I would not want to have been out in the woods in my tent. There's a scripture that says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe." And I felt pretty safe last night. And this is my 5th year winter camping. Had to have the right gear in order to take my camping down into lower temperatures. And it started with my UGQ 0 degree Bandit down quilt. I've had that since late 2018, and it is a game changer. I have been able to camp, well, I mean, here I am, and it's snowing outside. It's still snowing a little bit. It got down into the 20s last night, and I was nice and toasty. It also helps to be in a smaller tent, because in the winter, you're heating up the space that you're in. And having a smaller tent means that there is less space to heat up, and more heat is radiated back to you and contained in a smaller tent. The other thing is my sleeping pad. This is a Nemo Tensor Alpine. This is the long and wide version because I like a 25-inch pad. I don't think they make these anymore. It looks like they've redesigned their sleeping pads. This was the highest rated Nemo pad for backpacking that you could get when I was looking for a winter sleeping pad. This one's a 4.8 R value. This has always been good enough for me, and it was fine last night. And I do have my Thermarest, probably can't see it, closed cell foam pad underneath it. Quilt keeps the heat trapped in, that's on top, and these sleeping pads keep the heat from coming up through the ground and zapping the warmth out of you. So I've also found my best practices for winter camping is either have a fire or look forward to spending 12 hours in your tent, because that's the warmest place to be in the winter. Tent's taken down. Important stuff that needs to be packed up is packed up. And it has got to be coffee time, I'll tell you what. Another important thing about winter camping, you gotta have warm food, warm drinks to stay warm. Oh, and hey, I'm filming you right now on my Christmas present, which is a GoPro Hero Black 11. My husband got that for me. Our dear friends Bill and Darcy. Billy does motocross racing, and he had this GoPro Hero 11, and he was looking to sell it, and when my husband got wind of that, they struck up a nice bargain. So thanks, Billy. That was my Christmas gift. Thank you again, hon. Love you. All right. Now it's got to be coffee time. Hot coffee. It's a great morning smell. Remember the commercial in the early 2000s? My kids used to sing it all the time. Jelly super smooth crayons. So every time I see this, I think Laird Superfood Creamer. I didn't sleep that great last night. I was just nervous about being in a new place. When we got here last night, I probably showed you the footage already, that it was freezing rain and sleet. And it was doing that pretty much all night until it turned into snow at some point. I started going up the stairs and there was a coating of ice after about the first 10 stairs, and the further up the stairs you went, the more ice there was. And I said, you know what? That's not really going to be a great move for me. I think I will sleep at the bottom, which meant I'd be the first thing people saw when they came in here, but I slept in a tower last night. How cool is that? When I'm 80, laying in a nursing home bed or something, maybe, hopefully I'll be older than 80, because that's not too far away. But when I'm an older lady, laying in a bed in a nursing home somewhere, I'm going to remember the night that I slept in a stone tower during a snowstorm. And it's going to be a great memory. I'm going to get my coffee on. So this place was originally established for a college as part of their training program. Different things going on, training athletes, training forestry, training people from the outdoor spaces. In World War I, it was used for military training. So soldiers who went across the seas to serve our country trained here. There are a bunch of trails. It was a very popular place, and it was actually used as a camp, both for the college and as a summer camp. But it kind of fell out of favor, fell into disrepair. College stopped using it, chose other pursuits. So by the 1960s, it was pretty defunct. But the state of Connecticut came in, bought the land, and it's now a public space here. It is beautiful. There's a stone tower. There's those steps that I was not willing to climb last night. And now they're covered in snow, so I really feel like I made the right decision. Looks like we had some critters last night. Nothing too big though. Does look pretty. I love when you have a little bit of snow on trees and on bushes, and even on the ground, even though we've got more than a little. Kind of looks like powdered sugar on a donut. There are a bunch of trails around here. I've been here several times before. The tower is always a favorite spot. Feels like the wind has died down at least a little bit. There's an old outbuilding over here. And unlike the castle, it basically says, keep out. So I do. I want to thank McHappy Camper again for this challenge. I spent a lot of time thinking about what I was going to do, what I was going to be able to do, both physically and with the different weather situations we've had. I had actually bought a tiny tower, something that you'd use, I don't know, maybe for a fishbowl or an aquarium. Because if nothing else, I was going to camp in my car next to a tiny tower because he didn't specify the size of the tower, just said a tower. But I'll tell you what, I feel like this is a bit more epic. It's going to be unforgettable for me. So thank you again, McHappy Camper. Okay, stealth camp complete. I am heading to the parking lot, which is only about a quarter mile from here. So thankfully it's a very short hike because I've got a very heavy pack and did not bring any trekking poles. So I'm gonna get some more footage on my way out. And the other part of the challenge was to say a funny joke or tell a funny story. And I think I'm going to tell a funny story, but I'm going to wait until my ride picks me up because they're the star of my story. So let's get some pretty footage on the way to the car. Part of the challenge is to tell a joke or a funny story. I'm going going with funny story. Remember that time we went to look for a geocache in Andover?
Depends on, I don't know places.
We stopped at the hot dog stand at the pull-off, and I was like, there's a geocache right around the corner, and it's historical because it has a marker where General Rochambeau marched. General Rochambeau was a French military official, and during the Revolutionary War, the French sent troops to the emerging United States.
What, that road?
So we were in Andover, and I fired up my geocaching app, and lo and behold, there was a geocache like a tenth down the road. And normally, this one here doesn't mind going along with me on some of my antics. So, well, and it was a micro, but I think it's a geocache that neither one of us is ever going to forget. So, get to the geocache, don't see any containers sticking out, nothing looks out of the ordinary, so I resort to the hint. When you geocache, a lot of the geocaches have a hint that you can resort to if you can't find it without the hint. So we resorted to the hint, and the hint indicated that it was in a sewer grate. So a lot of times what people will do is they'll hide a geocache on some fishing line around a sewer grate, and then you've got to, fish it out on the fishing line and then sign it and put it back where you found it. So I said, hey, it's in the sewer grate. And I knew that I meant it's attached to a piece of fishing line. But someone else may have been a little impulsive and grabbed the grate that covered the sewer thing.
Sewer hole?
And then what happened?
It fell in.
Why'd it fall in?
Because I dropped it.
Because we realized that, wow, this sewer grate's really heavy and I'm not going to be able to hold it. So we dropped it into the sewer. So that kind of left like a 2x3 foot gaping hole in the middle of the road. And
But I guess we felt obligated to take care of it.
I wasn't sure what to do. Yes, we felt obligated to take care of it.
Or whatever.
So we had some dog tie-outs in the back of the car. I had my van with me, and my van has a hitch. So we decided to take the dog tie-outs, which are like steel covered in plastic. We use them when we go camping. And we put one end of the dog tie-outs around my van. The other one went on the grate. Somebody went down into the sewer drain. And as soon as I started pulling, the dog tie-outs snapped. So, of course, they weren't going to work. So then I left you at the scene of the crime and ran to the nearest hardware store and bought $30 worth of chain. Came back. You went back in the sewer drain.
Don't forget Jeffrey Hopper's the third.
Oh, yeah, and you found a frog. And then we wrapped the chain around my hitch. The other end of the chain went around the grate, and you guided the grate back out of the sewer drain, and we replaced it, and no one besides the two of us was any the wiser. But before you climbed out of the drain, I definitely had to get a picture of you. So I'll insert that picture in.